Hello and welcome to the Bid Euchre project. My name's Paul Phillips and I live in Guelph, Ontario. My wife and I love playing Bid Euchre, and unfortunately there isn't much on YouTube to show you how to play it, any tips or strategy, and it's my goal here to help out in that regard. I'm hoping to generate some responses as well. Maybe you have some questions about the game. Today though, I'm just going to present a short introduction, and perhaps next I'll do a little video on the rules. There's so much to cover, but let's just get started with the introduction part, just so that we can officially have our first video on YouTube. So this is a game we call Bid Euchre or Moonshot Euchre. I'll try to explain the basics of the game, how to lay a solid foundation for your game. And very importantly, we're going to discuss the object of the game. Some games like Pepper, that's played quite often in the US, and various other forms of euchre, even Moonshot Euchre originally, the object was to accrue 52 points to win the game. But when we get together to play euchre, we have perhaps 10 or 12 tables of 4 people, and we want to have an evening of fun, so we have 8 rounds of 8 games. So 64 hands we play in total. So the object of the game here is to take as many tricks as possible. So as I say, we normally have anywhere from perhaps 7 to 14 tables, so we can get upwards of 50 or so people. In our game, each player keeps their own traveling score sheet. I can show you a copy of this here. This is one of my terrible games where I had 222 points. But it shows you the result for each round of 8. Started off well and fell apart. Then we also have the score sheet that we keep at the table as well. So we have room for 64 hands. 32 on one side and 32 on the other. We keep track of who deals, what the score is for we and they. We also keep track of what the bid is. We write down the initials so that we can tell who is the next to deal every time. It gets rid of a lot of confusion. We can always double check to see if we have the right score, as our partner does. In our game, each player keeps their score on a traveling score sheet, which I just showed you, and we take that to the next table if we win. And I showed you the sample. If one side wins the round of 8 hands, they move, they go to the next table. One person from the winning side goes forward to the next table, and the other person goes in the opposite direction or back to play at the next table. The 2 losing players at the table, though, don't move, and one moves to the chair opposite their previous partner so as to then play against them. Likewise, one player comes from the higher number table and another comes from the lower number table. Is that clear as mud? Well, I'm going to show you how it's done in a different video. So the object of the game then is to obtain the highest number of points on each hand played. If we make a bid for 6 spades and it goes through, well, we want to take 7 or even 8 spades if possible. 8 tricks. The more the better. Because we're playing against every other player in the game. Once we finish the game, we tally up all of the scores and see who was first, and perhaps down to who was 5th. So some things don't go as planned when we bid, of course. We may bid 6 spades and end up only getting 5. That's not too good, but it happens. At least we're having fun, right? So each time you play a hand, you're trying to get as many tricks as possible. If you bid 5 tricks, to take 5 tricks, and you try to take 6 or even more tricks. Another object of the game is to have fun. We should be cordial at each table. We try to beat each other, of course, score-wise, but we shouldn't gloat when we euchre somebody. We don't like it when we go down. We don't want to be teased about it. We also shouldn't berate our partner or another person at the table for perhaps making a bad bid or a bad play. We all go down on the bids we make at times. None of us is perfect, and sometimes you just get bad breaks in the cards. We all hear about, oh, I went down in a call too because someone had 4 to the left against me. And as a point of interest, I'll be providing some statistics in later videos, but as an example, if you have right, left, ace, king, queen, which is 6 trumps, your chances of losing to 4 to the left are only 3.7%. That's mainly because, of course, you have 2 rights, but you also have 6 trump, which makes a huge difference. And with that combination, there's only 2 hands out of 54 that can have 4 to the left. So when you bid a call with that, you're going to make it 96% of the time. The less number of trumps you have, of course, the higher percentage of being euchred. So length is everything. Suit quality is just as important. And of course, you have to play your aces. We'll get into that a little later. One rule we have in Guelph and at a number of clubs around Ontario is that you must open with a right bower. So if you open 2 spades, you obviously have the jack of spades. Now I'm going to also introduce you to my card holders that I have. I don't have software to display hands, although I am working on it. And I'm just going to pull these cards out for a moment and show you how we're going to examine a particular hand. This will be the first and easiest hand you ever had. Sorry for the shaking. So here we have you as south. You're the hero all the time. You seem to have a nice hand there. Here's your partner north, west, and east. So what I can do is pull these cards out. It's on a little stand, and then I can push them in under the camera when I don't need them anymore. So in this hand, represents, of course, the 4 players at the table. So the person to the dealer left starts first. So he's going to open 3 clubs. Your partner has a good defensive hand against 3 clubs, but he chose to bid 4 spades. Now East, interestingly, has a nice hand with a void and hearts. So he puts the bid up to 6 clubs. Of course, that's no problem for you because you take a look at your hand and you have what we call a moonshot, which means you take all the tricks with your own hand. You don't need any cards from partner, and you score 24 points if you make it. So as you see, you have all 4 bowers, rights and left, and you always lead with your right bower. You lead with your ace. Guess what happens? It gets trumped immediately because East is void of hearts. So we're going to play our bowers from the top, get rid of all the other trump, and then we can claim the hand because all of the tricks are good. So that's a brief introduction. Now I'm going to show you how I can just push these cards back under the camera. Get them out of the way. And there we go. So that's the first video for the Bid Euchre project. I hope you enjoyed it. Please send some comments. I know I'm not a professional videographer or whatever, but trying my best, and we're just going to see what happens with this, and going to put up a number of videos. I'm also planning to film some people playing the game so we can get right in there and see how it's done. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one.